Okay, so if you've ever dipped your toes into crypto, you know it's a lot. Feels like
Yeah.
this constant flood of information, right?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Headlines shouting, analysts predicting. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, just sheer noise sometimes. And figuring out what actually moves the market. That's the real challenge, isn't it?
It really is. It's easy to get pulled in a million directions.
Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into a really interesting, maybe even a bit contrarian perspective on analyzing all this.
Oh?
Yeah, it comes from someone we respect a lot in this space, our dear friend, Crypto Infos.
Crypto infos. Okay.
And they use this specific method, often involving what they call their yellow charts,
hmm
to try and cut through all that noise, get some clarity.
Right. And what's really striking about their approach, I think, is
Mhm.
how it pushes aside the headlines, the fleeting news,
And focuses
on
on.
the real world action, what's actually happening in the market. It's just a fundamentally different lens to view these dynamics through.
So let's get into that. What's the core belief here? Crypto infos, based on, their experience, research, study, they firmly believe technical analysis is just the
The
best.
most superior form of analysis. That's their stance.
Which is a bold claim, especially when everyone's chasing the next big news story.
It is bold, but their reasoning is pretty straightforward. It's because technical analysis reflects real action,
Meaning,
meaning people actually buying and selling. It's that simple. You know the saying, put your money where your mouth is.
yeah.
Well, the charts, they argue, show exactly that. It's where the money's actually going. It visualizes the collective action.
Okay, so the chart is the action. And they take this even further, right? Saying like every single candle,
Exactly. Every single candle on the chart contains all the information needed. That's their view.
all of it, like what ordinary people are doing, what the big players, the whales are up to.
Uh-huh. And where the so-called smart money is making its moves, buying, selling,
Mm-hmm.
it's all supposedly embedded in that price data, in those candles, visualized maybe through their yellow charts.
Hmm. So how does that compare to, say, fundamentals or news? Because that's what most people focus on.
Right. And Crypto Infos draws a really sharp line here. They see news and fundamentals as, quote, far less useful for actual trading decisions.
Far less useful.
Wow. Yeah. Often just flashy headlines and attractive clickbait. That's how they put it. Helpful only in like very small instances.
So the real story isn't the headline, it's the reaction on the chart.
Precisely. The chart, in their view, reflects the true supply and demand, the real sentiment, often before the news even breaks, or regardless of it. You see it all the time, right? Good news, price drops. Bad news, price pumps.
Yeah, that happens a lot, actually.
Their argument would be, the chart already knew.
Okay, that's a really pure focus on price action. Let's see how this works in practice. We should thank our dear friend Crypto Infos for sharing their insights. Let's look at this specific crypto info they provided for SUSHI using their yellow charts.
Okay, yeah, so looking at their SUSHI analysis, this was on the one-day chart. The status was clearly marked bullish.
Bullish, okay. And why? What did the yellow charts show?
Well, the specifics of the yellow overlays aren't public, but generally a bullish static like this, from their perspective, would mean the chart structure, the price action, the volume patterns, it all pointed upwards, maybe breaking resistance.
And their observation was pretty direct, too.
Yeah, we pumped and hit our first target. We are changing the trend right now.
Changing the trend, how would their charts signal something like that so clearly?
It likely involves identifying key structural breaks, maybe a pattern like a higher low forming after a downtrend, then a strong push through a resistance level that their yellow charts highlighted. That first target they hit would have been a predefined level based on the chart structure.
So it's about identifying those turning points visually.
Exactly. Using the chart data itself to see when the balance shifts.
But obviously, things don't always go straight up. What about the other side? If things turned, if LCHI got rejected?
Good question. They account for that too. For downside targets, if a rejection happened, their analysis pointed to a first target around $0.7580.
Okay, so clear levels on both sides.
Right. That downside target would likely be a key support level identified by their chart analysis, maybe a previous low, or a consolidation zone. It's about having these clear lines in the sand, as you said, for risk management based on the chart's structure.
That really crystallizes it. This whole deep dive, it really shows the power of cutting through the noise, doesn't it? Just focusing on that direct market action, the visual data, like Crypto Infos does, it offers a different kind of clarity.
It absolutely does. It's a very focused approach in a very noisy world.
Definitely gives you a different way to think about volatile markets.
And, it leaves you with a thought, doesn't it? How might looking at other complex things in your life.
Like what?
Well, maybe your career or a project you're working on, maybe even personal goals. What if you tried to analyze them based on observable actions?
Mm.
What's actually happening? What progress is being made rather than just the external news or opinions or the chatter around it?
Interesting. Focusing on the chart of actions rather than the headlines.
Yeah. Could it change how you understand things or the decisions you make? Something to maybe chew on.